It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Quickly, go back though. Go back to that piece about he's high profile, so he won't get a camp. Why wouldn't he? I thought in a camp nobody's going to shank him because again they want out.
You know, the overriding factor there, I believe, is he's a guy with a lot of money. And I'll tell you, this happened to me when I went in there because of the profile I had, because of the way they wrote me up. You know, I had everybody and their brother inmate trying to do a deal with me when I got out, you know, a business deal. They need money. You know, because of the fact that he's a money guy, I think he's going to have more friends than he will enemies. And in a medium security, normally nobody's looking to shank you. When you get into the higher institutions, when people are doing, you know, a ton of time and there's no way you can benefit them, then you got a little more problem. But in a medium security, I don't think he'll have an issue at all. I really don't. He can be too much of a benefit to inmates that are always looking for something. And he could be a golden ticket for some people, at least in their mind.
Michael Francis is a crime. He's an Italian mafia guy, and he has a lot of credibility. And I don't remember if he snitched, but he had a gas scam that he went and did federal prison time for. But I'm gonna tell you what, P. Diddy will not serve any hard time. He's gonna go to a camp, and in these camps, you can walk around freely. You can do whatever you want. You can have conjugal visits. Like, it's gonna be baby oil and everything in these conjugal visits. But nah, he better stay away from the baby oil. But I'm telling you, he's gonna do all right. But I think, is the sentence too easy, or was it harsh enough? Was it too much? Is 50 months enough?
Tell me why we're in New York trying to get in the courthouse, right? And we're waiting in line, and Diddy's children come walking in to get in. Quincy Brown notices my mom's glasses and snatches them off of her face, like just mid-stride. He stops walking into the courthouse and snatches them. And then try to break my glasses. Why not just tell the security guard that I'm recording or whatever? That would have been better. Why would you just come and snatch that? Why would you just come snatch that off my face like that? I mean, that's wrong. What would y'all would have did? Tell me in the comments, what would y'all done in this situation if it was y'all? Because to me, that I just think it's messed up. And I have some footage. I have the footage of him walking up towards me, and then I have a still shot of him when he had my glasses in his hand, and it captured a picture of him with it in his hand. So tell me what y'all would have done. I'm going to attach the video at the end. So, he done messed up my whole time. You know, like, that's what people are here for. They hear the video of them and to see Diddy and to see, you know, to see what's going on. And for you to do that, man, that just really done broke my spirit.
Hold on. Look what you got.
Put your phone on.
Ma'am, you shouldn't have been. Yeah, of course, you can't be recording in there. Like, or maybe you can't. I don't know. But she got the meta glasses. Like, everybody's recording you, bro. Just don't even touch nobody. Just. I don't know. I don't see nothing wrong with him snatching her glasses. Like, girl, get a life. Go do something. Go do something safer, okay? Than trying to catch him outside like everybody else did.
So there's still a lot of questions surrounding why Diddy was only sentenced to 4 years in prison. Well, I want to break it down a little bit. That way you guys can kind of understand exactly what happened during this court hearing today for Diddy's sentencing. And before this even happened, Diddy has put this judge on notice that he is going to file an appeal. So just know that is coming. But I will say usually appeals are unsuccessful. And what the judge did kind of seals that in. I was talking about this for the past couple of days that I felt like Diddy's sentencing from the judge was going to fall in the guidelines of the probation department. And their findings were 70 to 87 months in prison, and the judge still went a little bit lower than that. And the reasons why the judges usually side with the probation department is because they're a neutral party. So you have the prosecution that usually asks for too much time based on the guideline ranges, and then you have the defendants asking for too little time based on what they're being charged with. Diddy's 2 charges under the Mann Act really don't carry that significant of time. But the judge and even the probation department agreed that they believe that Diddy should have enhancement added to make it a longer sentence. And that was because all of the violence that was shown in the trial. And Diddy kept trying to argue, well, this is acquitted conduct, but not necessarily was that acquitted conduct, because like a lot of you guys were yelling through the whole trial, Diddy was never charged with domestic violence. So the judge determined a more strict sentencing on Diddy, where he gave him 50 months based on the violence that was shown throughout this trial. If it wasn't for that, Diddy wouldn't have even got that much time. If you also note, he stayed consistent with the probation department's findings and even a little bit under. That way, in case Diddy appeals it, it's not going to go anywhere. The judge technically can do what he wants, but at the same time, he can't just come out swinging like, yes, I'm going to give him 11 years like what the prosecution is wanting if it's going to turn around and be appealed, because then he could risk getting in trouble himself. So the sentence of 50 months that the judge just gave Diddy, yes, was way more than what the normal charges would carry. But also, he made sure he stayed in a line. That way, when Diddy appeals, like I said, he's put him on notice that he is going to, it's not going to cause an issue, and Diddy's pretty much stuck with this sentence. The other big question that I see people asking me, well, how much time will Diddy sit if he was sentenced to 4 years and 2 months? I'm about to break it all down. Diddy first went to jail September 16th of 2024, which means he's been in there for a year and a couple weeks. So if you subtract that time from 4 years and 2 months, that equals about 3 years and let's just say a month. But in federal prison, you have to serve about 85% of your time and you could get good time credits. Which means at the end, Diddy is looking at a little over 2.5 years that he would have to sit even if he's granted good time. And let me say once again, that's if he is granted good time. You don't have generalized backgrounds of what's actually happening when these sentencings occur, it might feel like Diddy is getting off. Y'all know that he was found not guilty of some of the most serious charges. Honestly, this sentence that he handed down to Diddy is not good for Diddy, and it definitely represented the victims that were hurt because of Diddy. I know a lot of people are like, well, he could have got 11 years, but you have to understand the prosecution will push it out as far as possible, the same way Diddy was like, I'm gonna get out today. What the judge did was actually hold Diddy accountable for what he did to these women, because usually 2 Mann Act charges do not carry that amount of time. And he only came up with this much of a sentence because all of the violence that was shown throughout this trial. So technically, Diddy got more time than what somebody would if they got charged with the Mann Act convictions.
Bro, her voice is annoying, but we're going to go to the next one. We're finna do call-ins. Get ready.
Justin, how do you feel? Quincy, how do you guys feel?
Yo, Quincy, what's good?
He's coming home. He's coming home, guys.
Quincy ain't even his son. That's Al B. Sure's son, but that shows you what kind of guy P. Diddy was, you know, at one point in time, that he took on this man's son and raised him as his own. Y'all got to think about that for a second. Now, P. Diddy, he may be a freaky ass ninja, but he is still human. So, but think about this before y'all call in. Think about what you want to say about P. Diddy. And keep your calls under 2 minutes. Under 2 minutes.
In the Bronx. Mitch.
I'm from Mitch.
We started North Elsford.
I can't get the room.
How you doing, ladies? How you doing? You guys have a good day now. Don't rush it, Mama Crumbs. Don't rush it. It's a little slippery right there. All right. How you doing today? All right.
Yo, this is the nastiest OJ trial of the century. This is really I don't is this about is this like compared to the OJ trial? P. Diddy? I don't think
What
so.
was striking when the sentence was finally read is how still Sean Combs was. He just sat there, his hands clasped, looking down, and it was such a contrast to earlier because I would say it was such an emotional day in that courtroom. When Sean Combs' kids spoke in court today, they were all crying. His lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, was crying. Sean Combs got up there and said his own words, and his voice was really shaking. He was very emotional as he told the judge how this had affected his life, how he felt like a changed man. And even when the judge read this sentence, he began by praising Sean Combs, by talking about the work that he's done, the barriers that he's broken, how impressive it is, even at a young age, having lost his father, all that he overcome. But he said that all of that could not wash away the record of this case, the evidence that we saw in that courtroom. He also pointed to the fact that some of this aggravating behavior, the violence, took place even after Combs already knew that he was being investigated.
Hey, hit that like button. Y'all in here, hit the like button.
And after that Intercontinental video that we've seen so many times, Sean Combs posted this apology on Instagram. The judge said, saying a lot of what he said in the courtroom today. And yet, even after that, he beat one of the women who testified in this trial. So the judge was just not convinced that his behavior had changed. And he said that this had to be done for deterrence. And Sean Combs just really sat there looking defeated. He told us in court today that he was broken. He looked absolutely distraught when his kids were speaking earlier. He was crying. He was wiping his face with a tissue. And you can see really how all of this has affected him. And now he is going to have to deal with this incarceration.
Bruh, everybody be sad when they get sentenced. Like, this ain't nothing new. Like, man, people cry. Oh, if you guys do 30 days in jail, you gonna cry. You know, you really, man, the trauma that a lot of people endured during P. Diddy's reign of terror, as we would call it, reign of terror. But I don't know, because one, I'm kind of conflicted. He was just a freaky person, and I think a lot of the people was involved in this situation, they were willing participants. The only thing that makes this bad is that these people had something over P. Diddy, which was the freakiness, and if they told anybody about what was going on, they faced severe consequences. And that's like if we can compare it to a situation, is like when you mess with somebody with the same sex and somebody tells and you go and harm that person. That's the same thing. You're not supposed to do it. You gotta own what you do, right? But somebody feels the need that they got to tell everybody business. Y'all want to go out and tell everybody business? Did it? And I also think that this was also brought upon him. People, we can say conspiracies with Diddy. Diddy was wanting to buy the alcohol. I don't think that was the major thing. I think that was a minor thing in this whole thing. But Diddy, everything started to come down on Diddy when that videotape came out. When that videotape came out, boy, people was like, now, and not only that, he said the day before that video came out, he said, I never did this. I'm a this type of person. I'm brother love. I'm this, I'm that. That video came out, we was like, brother, shit, you gonna have to sit this one out. You need to just shut the hell up right now. because what you doing is make you digging yourself a deeper hole. Now, had he came out and said, you know, I got an addiction, I'm a violent person, I've had a crazy past, and I need help. All he had to say was he needed help. If he said he needed help, he had an addiction, he could use mental health as a thing, but he didn't. He lied to us in our face. And then that video came out with him dragging Cassie across the hotel, and everybody lost faith in him right then. It was just like, Diddy, you need help. You won't. People be like, this is what happens. People do shit, and then when you confront it with the problem, you don't want to face the fact that you're the problem. And that's what happened to Diddy. He didn't want to face the fact that he was the problem. And until it hit him in his face, and it was with the video in the hotel, and he had to look at himself and be like, damn, I really messed up. And everybody else was like, damn, you lied to us yesterday. So a lot of people lost the sympathy for him. And that is why the sentencing had to happen like it happened. You know? If the video showed everything.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.